Here are 5 incredible survival stories. Aaron Ralston was an experienced hiker and mountaineer who loved to explore the wilds of the American West. In April 2003, he set out on a solo hike in Blue John Canyon, Utah. As he was traversing a narrow slot canyon, a boulder dislodged and pinned his right arm to the canyon wall. Despite his best efforts, Ralston was unable to free himself from the boulder, and he soon realized that he was facing a life-or-death situation. He had very little food or water with him, and he knew that he would not be found by another hiker for days, if not weeks. Over the next 5 days, Ralston tried everything he could think of to free himself from the boulder. He chipped away at the rock with a multi-tool, tried to use a pulley system to lift the boulder, and even attempted to break his own bones in order to free his arm. But nothing worked. As his situation became more desperate, Ralston began to come to terms with the fact that he might not survive. He recorded a message to his family on his video camera, saying goodbye and expressing his love for them. But then, in a moment of incredible courage and determination, Ralston made the decision to amputate his own arm. Using his multi-tool, he cut through the bones and tendons, finally freeing himself from the boulder. Despite being severely injured and weak from days without food or water, Ralston managed to rappel down the canyon wall and hike several miles to find help. He was eventually rescued by a helicopter and taken to the hospital, where he underwent surgery to remove the rest of his arm. Ralston's incredible story of survival and determination inspired the book and movie 127 Hours, and has become a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the most harrowing of circumstances. 2. In 1971, Julianne Coep boarded a flight with her mother to travel to see her father in Peru. But as the plane flew over the Amazon jungle, it was hit by lightning and began to break apart in midair. Julianne was thrown from the wreckage and fell 2 miles to the ground. When she awoke, Julianne was alone in the jungle, surrounded by the wreckage and the bodies of the other passengers. Despite suffering a broken collarbone and deep cuts, Julianne knew that she had to find a way to survive. Over the next 10 days, Julianne used her knowledge of the jungle and her own survival instincts to stay alive. She drank rainwater and ate whatever she could find, including berries and insects. She used the wreckage of the plane to create a makeshift shelter and protect herself from the elements. As she waited for rescue, Julianne's thoughts turned to her mother, who had died in the crash. But she refused to give up hope, determined to stay alive and return to her father. Finally, after 10 days alone in the jungle, Julianne was rescued by loggers who had heard her cries for help. She was taken to a nearby village, where she was treated for her injuries and reunited with her father. Julianne's incredible story of survival in the Peruvian jungle has become a testament to the power of the human spirit and the resilience of the human body. Despite facing unimaginable circumstances, she refused to give up and found the strength to survive. 3. In 1985, Joe Simpson and Simon Yates set out to climb the Sola Grande mountain in the Peruvian Andes. Their journey was going well until they were caught in a snowstorm during their descent. Simpson fell and broke his leg, leaving him stranded on a narrow ice ledge with no way to climb down. Yates attempted to lower Simpson down the mountain, but the weight of both men was too much to handle. In a desperate move, Yates was forced to cut the rope connecting him to Simpson, sending Simpson plummeting into a crevasse. As he fell, Simpson thought that his life was over. But miraculously, he survived the fall with only a broken leg and a shattered ankle. He was alone, injured, and stranded in the crevasse, with no way to call for help. Despite his injuries, Simpson refused to give up. He managed to crawl and drag himself out of the crevasse and began the arduous journey back to base camp. He used all his mountaineering skills and instincts to navigate the treacherous terrain, and after several days, he finally made it back to camp. Simpson's incredible story of survival in the Peruvian Andes has become a testament to the power of the human spirit and the determination to survive against all odds. Despite facing impossible challenges and setbacks, he refused to give up and found the strength to make it back to safety. 4. In 1981, Yossi Ginsberg, an Israeli adventurer, set out on a journey through the Amazon rainforest with 3 other travelers. They were exploring the uncharted territory of the Bolivian Amazon, hoping to find a hidden tribe. However, things took a turn for the worse when Yossi became separated from his companions and found himself lost and alone in the jungle. Despite his best efforts, he was unable to find his way back to civilization, and he soon realized that he was facing a life-or-death situation. Over the next 3 weeks, Yossi used all his survival skills to stay alive in the unforgiving jungle. He drank rainwater and ate insects to sustain himself, and he used his wits to fend off dangerous animals and avoid getting lost even further. As he struggled to survive, Yossi began to lose hope of ever being rescued. But then he heard the sound of a distant river, and he knew that he was close to civilization. He followed the sound and eventually stumbled upon a remote village, where he was rescued by local tribespeople. Yossi's incredible story of survival in the Amazon rainforest has become a testament to the power of the human will to survive. Despite facing impossible odds and enduring unimaginable hardships, he refused to give up and found the strength to make it out of the jungle alive. 5. In 1912, Australian explorer Douglas Mawson led an expedition to Antarctica, with the goal of mapping and exploring the uncharted territory of the continent. However, the expedition soon turned into a nightmare when Mawson's 2 companions died during a grueling journey across the ice. Left alone in the desolate Antarctic wilderness, Mawson faced a desperate fight for survival. He was hundreds of miles from the nearest base camp, and he had very limited supplies. He was forced to rely on his own skills and resourcefulness to make it back to safety. Over the next several weeks, Mawson endured unimaginable hardships as he struggled to survive in the harsh Antarctic environment. He survived on a diet of penguin and seal meat, and he battled extreme temperatures that dropped as low as -50 degrees Celsius. He also had to navigate treacherous crevasses and fend off dangerous animals, all while facing the constant threat of frostbite and hypothermia. Despite the odds against him, Mawson refused to give up. He continued to push forward, driven by his determination to make it back to civilization. Finally, after months of enduring unimaginable hardships, he was rescued by a search party and taken back to safety. Mawson's incredible story of survival in the Antarctic has become a testament to the power of the human spirit and the resilience of the human body. Despite facing impossible challenges and enduring unimaginable hardships, he refused to give up and found the strength to make it back to safety.